Hey guys, how's it going? I have this project I gotta go do for my local diner, which is these go in the broiler or the grill, and the flame is underneath and the meats are on top. Apparently, as you can see, there's a slight issue there, is that they totally rotted out all the centers of them, and I think he says it's because of the marinade. It's got a strong acidic base to it. What does it do to your stomach, right? Anyway, so he wanted me to try to repair this. I guess they're about $300 a piece, and there's 3 of these that he has. I had done some before, which basically he had a bunch of them where the centers were blown out, and I just cut off the outer pieces to make a new, to patch the inner ones. But we're kind of running out of stuff to work with. I actually think this one is a repair. I'm looking, judging by the welds up top. I was in there before. So this one's already been taken apart and put back together once before. And so I said, well, maybe we'll try and make some new stainless pieces. And I have a bunch of stainless around the corner. But I got to cut them up and bend them. And to go and bend them, what I had, I think I want to show you. They have this funky double bend out there. Essentially, you got to bend there and then bend there. There's actually 2 right here, but I don't need to get it that much. But I got two bends fairly close together to copy that. And I made a break before. As you can see there, and it's probably got about a 2-inch swath on it. So the closest you can kind of get it together is roughly 2 inches. That, how close you can make a bend to another one. So I went to the scrapyard and see if I can go find some stainless angle of some sort that was in the scrap pile, and you can go buy that from them. They'll sell it right to you. It's basically double whatever they pay. So say if they're paying $2 a pound for something, they sell it to you for roughly $4 a pound. And kind of makes for a good deal that way, Or you could buy new stuff. But I was looking for scrap angle, couldn't find any. But when I was looking around, I found a bunch of dies. Those who don't know, this is what would actually be in a sheet metal brake. And, that's the upper die, and that's a lower die. This one looks kind of weird. Looks like it might be offset. The V's in the center. It's got a very close lip right here. It might be for making a close bend going the other direction. So there's that bottom die, and there's this bottom die, which has the same material on each side. So I found those, and I also found this guy, which is a kind of self-explanatory, but it's a flaring tool. But what I liked about this one is, first of all, who it's made of. If I can get it apart, I'll just tell you, the cone in the center goes off center, and it's on a bearing so it can roll. So instead of trying to open the flare up all at one time, it just takes it and kind of pushes the outside wall of the flare out a little at a time, instead of trying to push the whole tubing back into the cutter and make a weird lump down below the flare. This one should go and do it. So we'll see how that works on brake lines. I have a feeling it'll work pretty good though. It's a high-end one. So, anyway, all together was $30. My thought is to take these and somehow fabricate a more controllable press. Oh, I shouldn't say more controllable. That one's not bad, just fast. More precise one, and I'm going to try using my regular press and converting that over where I could stick something in the center of it, use the pressure of the press to push the sections of the die together. And so we're going to go start that journey. Well, after dragging that out, I figured first I'd maybe get it set up on wheels, make it a little bit more user-friendly. And this is, believe it or not, a casket dolly that you would roll caskets around a funeral home with. And I just cut it down to size. Took that much length out of each side of it, and all it does is it's just pipe with Allen screws coming down and tapping and holding on to it. There's a lock in each corner, so I can kind of lock it from rolling. And if not, of course, they came in 2s. So the other one's sitting right there. If you need anything else, it probably has 2 more locking wheels on it too. So I may switch it over to all 4, but that's good for now. Hey guys, not sure where I left off, but that lower section is installed and cut down. So now the whole assembly kind of rolls around nicely. And it's kind of weird. These wheels have dampers. See it? See that rubber piece right there? Where are you? There you go. That thing right there is kind of like a damper. So as you roll it around, it doesn't vibrate like a regular solid wheel does. So I guess they didn't want the person in the casket jumping around too much. So that's that part of it. Actually kind of brings up a nice height to it. And now the rest of it, I'm just trying to figure out where I want to go put things. That's the lower die. I'm probably going to weld a plate. It's dark, isn't it? Probably going to weld a plate to the bottom of it, like what you see there, instead of relying on these. Because when you go to press, it's going to want to kind of bow. Actually, it's going to bow like that. So that should help with the stiffness of it and make it so that I get an even press. Now for the top, to hold the top die, I ended up, this is 1/2 inch by 3 flat bar, and I cut them down. One is 26 inches long, one is 28 inches long, and then this piece will fit on top of this piece. These are through bolted and these are tapped, and there's 9 of them going down, and that will sandwich the upper die. You see 1/2 will be here and the other half will be there, and that shim keeps it so it's square. So when you tighten down on those bolts, it'll pinch the top die and make it so you can remove it. You'll see why in a little while, why I did that. Alright, so I got everything assembled and I believe finished welded, and here's what we came up with, the finished product. Basically you have 2 1/2-inch plates there and there. This one is fixed with the holes tapped in it, and the other one are through holes on the other side. So you can loosen this up and this plate will pull away. And there's some blocks on top. 5 of them welded across. There, 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 and there. And that just kind of counters the die that's on here. There's a 1/2-inch lip that it's capturing and pinching, and by loosening and tightening these bolts you could take this die in and out. And the reason why I did it like this is because I'm going to take, I have this piece and I have another 3-foot section. I'm going to slice it in a 1-inch piece, a 2-inch piece, a 4-inch piece, 8, and then probably make one that is the total width, which is 26 inches, maybe 25, because you got some spring clearance issues here. So I'll make the top one 25. Last one. Having said that, the idea is so you can make a box, and that's why you need to change the width of the top die. So if you're bending a piece of metal and you make one bend on it, and then you want to rotate that piece of metal and fold the next side, you have to be able to make it so that the die can fit in between the ends. So once you fold one side up and you fold the other side up, after you spin it around, well, now you're gonna, if you want to go fold this lip up, how do you go about doing that? You got to make the top die the correct width to fit in between there. So that's why it's done like that. Or else I just would have welded it to a plate like I did on the bottom here. Bottom die is just welded on again another 1/2 by 3-inch flat stock. I did not want to rest that right on the press blocks because these are just cast, and I don't want to put too much pressure on them in a dead line. If you look at it, the width of that die is kind of hard to see, but the width of the bottom of that die is again 1/2 inch. That's the same as what the top looks like. It's a capture, but it's welded on. I don't plan on changing the bottom out, so that's why that one's staying like it is. Sometimes you can make a box that you fold a lip down, and then you want the other side to fold up. You would change the bottom dies out for that, but we're not getting that fancy. So that's her. There's a little keeper on the cylinder here, just to kind of keep it centered over the top. And again, it pushes on that plate, this plate, and then there's one in the middle that is welded to this side also. So this is not attached. This can float out of there. If you let it all the way up, you can remove that whole assembly, take it right out of there, and bring it right back to being a press again. And I did cheat. I already made one video, but then I got a phone call in the middle of it, so I'm doing it again. So that's the first one that I kind of went real quick and did a bend on. Get the idea. These are stainless, and the reason why I kind of started this whole project is I have to try to recreate that profile. Those are for a grill. So let's go pop you in there and we'll bend some metal. See what it looks like. Good. Alright, let's give her. Yeah, that's pretty much what you come up with. That gives you a really nice tight bend on that corner there, and should be able to create my pieces pretty good. So I'm happy with it. A couple hours work. And again, it's still a press, still works as a press, and now it's mobile because I have the wheels on it. There is 2 locks on it, so you can move it around real easy, and if you want, you can lock it in place so it's not an issue. The only thing I kind of screwed up on is what I should have done when I took these pins. These are kind of like locating pins. It keeps everything in a straight line. Yeah, straight line. I should have flipped it around the other way around. So this smooth part here was in the guide tube instead of where the threads are here, because it is kind of catching on that a little bit. I haven't put any grease or anything under it yet, but if you look at it, see when it came up, that side's up higher than this side. So. But I think if I grease this up pretty good, it shouldn't be an issue, and should be able to push or pull up evenly once it gets used a couple of times and gets kind of rubbed in there a little bit. But that's it. Again, just loosen these up. I'll be able to take this die out, and I'll be able to put my pieces in however I want, so that I can have a capacity of making a box. This is basically the idea of it. So. Again, thanks for watching, comment, subscribing, guys. I appreciate it. Catch you on the next one. Bye.